Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you a fun Mokume Gane. So you're going to need some translucent polymer clay and then some alcohol ink of any colour. I'm using Pinata ink Baja Blue, and I'm going to colour this translucent clay with the alcohol ink. Now if you happen to have coloured translucent clay, that will work as well, but if you are planning on colouring the translucent clay, you need to use something along the lines of alcohol ink, because the alcohol ink is translucent and won't mess with the translucency of the clay. Okay, then once you've added your ink, you're going to allow that to dry, then you're going to run it through the pasta machine and you're going to mix it up into a solid colour. Okay, and there we go. So I run this out on the thinnest setting on my pasta machine, and now I'm going to bring over some metal leaf. Any metal leaf will do, but I'm going to be using this, I think the correct word is corrugated metal leaf, but basically it's got these interesting patterns on it. I sell them on my Etsy shop, you can have a look for them there. Again, any metal leaf will work, but I want to use these ones because it creates a really nice, interesting pattern, which you'll see later on. There we go. So just cover the entire surface with the metal leaf, at least as best you can. And then we can move on to the next step. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to cut this into lengths. Okay, and it does not have to be perfectly symmetrical, that is perfectly fine if it's not. That up, and then I'm going to stack it like so. Cut again, lift it up again, and stack. And I'm just going to continue to do that. Okay, there we go. Now let's see, I'm going to stack it one more time. I'm just going to chop off this end here. And I'll just pop onto the end there. It really doesn't matter about making it all square and nice like we usually do with the Mokume Gane. That's not something you have to worry about here. Okay, let me stack it one last time, making a nice high deck. Right, now I want you to just take this and I want you to start squishing it and moulding it with your fingers. If you get distortion, that is good. I want to just press this together and make sure that all the metal leaf pieces stick to the clay, because we don't want this coming apart when we cut it later on. So just go and press in with your fingers and squish the sides, and this will crackle the leaf a bit. And just get it all nice and squished together. You can use your roller as well. Just try to keep it at its current height roughly. You don't want to be flattening it out too much. You just want to kind of be pressing like I am right now. Okay, and there we go. Now we are ready to start slicing it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that into the middle here, and I'm just going to roll it. Make sure that the metal leaf side is facing up, so that you can stick the clay side down onto your tile, and that's just going to make cutting this a lot easier. And just make sure to spend some time sticking that down onto the tile. You want that to stick down firmly. Right, there we go. Then grab a nice thin blade and we're going to start slicing. And we're not going to be cutting it flat like we would usually with Mokume Gane. We're going to be dipping in and taking out nice deep divots, like so. And take those and put them to the side. And you're just going to continue doing that. Like so. There we go. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take these pieces that you have sliced off, and I want you to just start applying them back on here. Like so. Overlapping them a little bit. Just so we build back together a veneer. Like so. Okay. There we go. And just continue doing that. And when you have a look at these, make sure you look on both sides and decide which side you like the best. That's something that, just keep that in mind while you're building this back up. Okay, there we go. Now I want you to just grab a piece of paper, lay it over the top, and I want you to burnish. Now you can use your roller to that or your fingers. Just don't roll like this, you want to be rubbing. That way you preserve the pattern for the most part, but you just start flattening it out. And this is going to take a bit, if you can see here, it's going to take a bit to flatten out all of these little areas. But yeah, keep doing that until the veneer is for the most part flat and even, and then we can move on to the next step. And there we go. So now we are going to have to lift this up off the tile. Always do this before you cut out your shapes, unless you're working on a tile that can go directly in the oven, because you don't want to be picking up your shapes when the clay is this well stuck to the tile, because you'll just end up distorting them. There we go. Now you can see what the back looks like. Not quite as interesting. Front looks much nicer. And I'm just going to bring over a piece of paper. There we go. And then I'm just going to burnish this onto the paper, and then we can cut out our shapes. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to bring over some cling wrap. And now when we stick this down, I want to try to get it as smooth as possible, which can be a little difficult. Cling wrap is so that I can get a domed effect with the clay. Okay, that will work enough. Okay, and I'm going to bring over my Cleopatra imprint collar number 2. Just going to move that around, find the right spot that I like. I think I like here. Right, and then I want to press down nice and hard on that. Like so. Okay, lift it up and you can see it didn't stick. And we're going to lift up the cling wrap. And you're probably going to need to go in and cut again, because it won't have cut cleanly through the cling wrap. Just go and match that up, and then what I like to do is I'll just use my roller to just make sure that I cut through cleanly, because it can be a little hard to get a clean cut with these cutters because they're so big that your hand just doesn't apply enough pressure. So just run your roller over it and that will apply plenty pressure. Okay, then gently lift it up. And I'm going to be careful because I don't want to rip anything. Okay. And just peel the excess clay away. And there we go, you can see how nice that looks. Now I'm going to bake that flat, and then once it's baked fully we can then go and try to give it a gentle curve. I'm just going over the top here and just smoothing out any wrinkles that the cling film might have given. Most of that will be concealed by our varnish later on, but I do want to just smooth it out if possible. Like so. Then I'm going to bake that for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature, and then when that's out of the oven we can give it a curve, give it some sand, give it a sand, varnish, and just in general finish it off. Okay, so it's finished baking. Now I'm just going to bring over a bowl, just a nice bowl with a curve, and then grab your piece while it is still hot. It is important that it is still hot while you're doing this. And I want you to just lay it on the bowl gently, like that. It doesn't have to follow the exact same curve. So I'm not going to be pressing this down, make it curve. I'm just pressing down on the top over here so that it gets a light curve so that it will hang nicely. Then once it has cooled, then we can move on to the next step. And there we go. So now it's just got a nice curve to it. I'm not sure if you can see there, but it is quite translucent. That area there, if I pass my finger under there, you can see it's translucent. And the back looks quite nice now that it's baked actually. So I don't really want to sand the top of this because you'll sand away some of the metal leaf. The sides are nice and clean because the cutter cut through nice and cleanly. So I am now going to varnish this. So I'm going to be using a spray varnish because I don't really want to be using resin because I don't want it to interfere with these gaps. And this is the varnish I'm using. UV resin will work. You can also use varathane, but I have taken to using this lately. And this is one of the few spray varnishes that is actually compatible with the polymer clay. And I'm just going to spray. There we go. And then that will dry to the touch in about an hour. But you do want to leave it for about 24 hours before you start fussing with it because you can still put fingerprints on it. And what I'd recommend is after about 5 minutes, just move this out of the puddle of varnish and actually put it onto a piece of paper. And actually I might do that now. Just grab that. Just pop that onto a piece of paper. And that will just soak up any leaks that might be happening. I'm just going to check that I got everything. I should have got everything. Yes, I did. Okay, I'll just quickly move that. There we go. Alright, and I'll just let that dry. Okay, and here it is now that it's finished drying. So you can see it's got a nice sheen to it. You can also spray the back if you want, but I just typically will leave the back looking natural. And so next step now is going to be to drill a hole. And I'm going to drill it in the middle on each side. Like so. Just as easy as that. Okay, repeat on the other side. Okay, then I'm just going to grab a large jump ring, open that up, pop that through the hole. And I've got one of these findings, I believe they're called end bars, where they have one loop on one side and then multiple loops on the other side. And then I have cut chain to different lengths, so I've got 2 of each length and then 3 different lengths total. So you can see there. Okay. Then grab some smaller jump rings. There we go. And you're also going to want another one of those end bars. Okay. And now the longest one will go on the bottom and the shortest one will go on top. So just open up that jump ring. This could be a bit finicky. Longest on the bottom. Close that up. Okay, and then I'll attach that to the other end. And then you'll just repeat with the others, longest on top, middle one in the middle, and then shortest one right up top here. Okay, there we go. And I've done it on the other side as well. So now I'm just going to grab a jump ring and a clasp, and you'll just attach that to each end of your piece, finishing it off. Now the chains might not look great on the tile they're supposed to hang, so you should have seen that in the intro photos what it looks like properly. I'll try and give you a look now. Bring this over. There we go, you can get an idea of how it's supposed to look. Like that. Try again. There we go, you can get a decent idea of how it's supposed to look there. So that is basically it for today's tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to support this channel so I can continue doing more videos like this one, please do consider becoming a patron. I have a link to that in the description below as well. I show more complicated tutorials on there every single month, ranging from 1 to 3 depending on which tier you do decide to sign up to. So please do check that out, as it really does help the channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.